What's up, Mr. CEO's class? So I'm not here today, but we're going to walk through a little PowerPoint presentation and then a search engine so you guys can see how we find reliable information and sources. Finding information. So there's a big difference between finding information and using information. Anybody can find information, but it's how you use it that makes it more effective. So make sure that the information you're looking for is crucial to your topic. It's important that you find information that relates to the bigger picture you're trying to show the reader. So if you have a so what to a paper, for instance, if you want to tell them about cheese, you want to explain how cheese is made, different kinds of cheeses and stuff like that, when you find information, you want to make sure that it's related to that idea. This is called theme coherence. When you use information that doesn't relate to your topic, then you lose theme coherence. It means like you lose track of what you're trying to tell people. So where do you begin? Most of you guys are going to search Google for the first time and you're going to run into a brick wall. Or you're going to find information that either isn't reliable, meaning it could come from anywhere. It might not be accurate because it could come from a source that doesn't know what they're talking about. And it might not be useful to you. So Google's not always the best place to go. So here's a couple of ones that I recommend that are deep search engines. This applies to a term that means like search engines that go in much greater depth than Google does. Google tries to give you a one-stop like click on the very first thing that you find, but that's not often the case when you're doing research. So here are what are called academic search engines. That means like they review articles, journals, newspapers, things like that. So the first one is basesearch.net, and this does the most in-depth search for academic papers. Then there's deeperweb.com, which I think is the coolest. It organizes your search results into blogs, into encyclopedia information, wiki information, newspaper articles, and then just generic stuff. It's really cool. And then there's the old classic Encyclopedia Britannica, which is great for just general facts about certain topics. So you also need to research where your info is coming from. So now that you guys have your topic and you know how you want to, and now you want to find info, here are a few things to be wary of when you're searching. The first one is examine the article dispassionately. That means like don't read it thinking that you're definitely going to find information here. Read it passively, like who's the apparent target for the audience? Is it written focused on a very tight niche aspect of the topic, or is it as broad and kind of introductory? And then if you think you found the originating web page and site but still have no author, look at the domain extension. Is it .com, .org, .net, or .edu or .mil? These two have higher authority, as one is for universities and others for militaries. .com means .commercial, so they're often trying to sell you something. .org is usually an organization. Now look at the full domain. Is it a free blogging service that anyone can use? Or is it dedicated to a blog website like deepweb.org? Free blog or free web services don't inspire any kind of authority or authenticity. Dedicated blog or website is a setup, but we want to know more. So I found information. Now what? Analyze your data by first determining whether you're using primary sources or secondary sources. A primary source is written by someone who was there, firsthand as a witness, or the first person to document about it. It can also be live recordings of events or interviews. For instance, if we're talking about World War II, an interview with somebody who is a World War II veteran is a primary source. You're getting information by somebody who was there. An example of a secondary source would be like a textbook talking about the interview, or a textbook talking about the events that, or any kind of book that talks about the events in the past tense because they weren't there. So a secondary source cites primary sources and often builds upon or extends the interpretation of primary sources. Finally, Wikipedia is a collection of secondary sources. So Wikipedia is not a primary source, but it may cite primary sources, and you can find that at the bottom of any web page you use. So why does it matter, Mr. CEO? Why does it matter if I'm using primary sources or secondary sources? Well, primary sources are typically untainted, meaning they haven't been interpreted, altered, or misused. They are straightforward accounts. Secondary sources can be manipulated, secondary sources can manipulate information to fit into a different argument or context. This will change the way we read it. So that's not what we want to do. So next, I'm going to show you guys how a couple of these search engines that'll get you started in finding information. All right, so the first search engine is called Base Search. And now Base Search is an academic search engine. And this is pretty cool. So let's say our topic is just cheese. Whether we are making cheese or we're trying to pick different cheeses to pair with different foods. I don't know, cheese. So type in cheese here. Now you can search for documents, titles, authors. We're searching an entire document for the word cheese. So we're obviously going to get a lot of hits here. Okay, so we have a couple different articles here. We have choosing and using cheese. Now, if we look at the description here, we get a little more detail. So this guide discusses kinds of cheese, food values found in cheese, uses, how to cook and buy, blah, 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 blah. So let's look at the source here. Look at this. Historical materials from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Okay, now this is an EDU page, so this is an academic page. We can trust the information we're getting from this. Let's keep looking. Oh, cheese making. All right, this is an interesting one. Year of publication 2008, so it's fairly current, and it comes from mtnforum.org. So we might want to check this out a little bit further if we're going to use this information, because I'm not really sure what that source is. All right, so lots of different articles here. You can search and search and search, and you're going to find all kinds of stuff. The next one, which I think is super cool, is Deeper Web. Now this is awesome. So if we type in cheese here, look at what we come up with. Now, on the left we have some advertisements and we just have random links here. But if we look on the right, we can do a deeper cloud search. So if we don't want grilled cheese. We're not talking about grilled cheese. So I can eliminate grilled cheese from the entire search. That's pretty cool. So we have Google Answers here. So what type of cheese is made backwards? These are from people who are just kind of asking questions to the internet and looking for answers. Not always the most reliable sources here. So let's go down a little bit. Metric search. So we can find Wisconsin dairy data, cheese sales. Let's see. All different kinds of stuff there. Now, news searches. Fire reported at Cheese House in Dairy Township. That's probably not what we're looking for. Mac and cheese cook-off, etc. Resources, cheese and chocolate pairing guide, Wikipedia search. Okay, so we might find some information here, and then blogs down here. So if you really pay attention to what you're looking for, you'll be able to discern between blogs, Wikipedia searches, resources, news, data, all this stuff. These are all really good ways to separate the information for you. Now finally, we're going to use Encyclopedia Britannica. Now this is an old school one, but this will just give kind of straight up facts. There won't be a whole lot of depth to it, but there will be good basic information. So cheese as a food. You're going to get pretty basic stuff here. Check it out. You can get some images, video, interactive things, websites that are related to it, Fact Monster, etc., etc., etc. So these are three really good sources that I suggest that you start your search with. Remember, be critical of what you read. This is the only way that you're going to get authentic information that keeps your theme coherence, that's accurate, and that's reliable. Good luck with your search today.